Hi, I'm Byron, and welcome to the BjjBrick Q&A show, where you send questions about Jiu-Jitsu, and I'll send you my answer. Today, we had a question about self-defense and changing schools. So let's get right to that question. Hey Byron, you and Gary are great. Love the podcast. It has helped me through these 11 months in my BJJ journey so far. I recently got promoted to blue belt and was excited when I did, but now I'm questioning whether I'm in the right school, since they mainly focus on sport. I've always felt that sport jiu-jitsu would be enough to defend myself in a street fight. Takedown, control, mount, side control, submit if need to. My question, since I've been hearing a lot about the effectiveness of BJJ is lacking due to sport-oriented academies, is Sport BJJ enough for self-defense, or should I consider changing schools? Which would be hard since I've made many friends there and wouldn't want to leave. Thanks for your time. Al. Thank you, Al, for the question. This is really opening up two cans of worms. First can of worms is changing your school, and the second can of worms is going to be, is BJJ enough for self-defense? So I guess we'll try to tackle both those today. First off, changing your school. You're a brand new blue belt. I would not recommend you change schools unless some other force is acting. You move, you relocated for a job, or something like that is happening to where you're having to change schools. You just got your blue belt, stay there for a while, get acclimated to the belt, bare minimum. You don't want to walk into a new school and really be feeling, well, how do I do with these blue belts? You want to be in the middle of that blue belt area before you even consider that if it's just for an option. Second off, you just got your belt. Your instructor is extremely proud of you. You kind of built that sense of team with everybody, and just to abandon that, I think that's a real hard thing to do to your team and everybody who has been supporting you over the almost year you've been training. So I really would hesitate to trade schools just because of what they are offering, because they've been offering the same thing all along. Really, what's changing is you. I urge you to make the most of your school. This means using your teammates, not just your instructor. That if they're teaching all sports jiu-jitsu, that's fine. You're also exposed to people who are other martial artists. So maybe you have some people in your class that like striking arts as well. Maybe you could do a little bit of stuff with them on the side without much of a big deal. And it doesn't have to be all the time. Just picking up a little bit of striking could be a huge deal in your ability to defend yourself. If they're all pulling guard all the time, well, if you don't work takedowns, I'm sure you could find one or two teammates that will work takedowns with you. That's a big deal as well for your self-defense idea of things. So really make the most of your team, and then consider changing what you're doing. If you're starting to learn that sport-specific jiu-jitsu that really wouldn't be as effective in a street fight, if you're going to play the types of games that are going to put you in dangerous situations, we could name half a dozen of them that work great in jiu-jitsu, but it wouldn't be so effective on the ground, on the gravel, in a bar, in the close quarters, and that sort of thing. So just kind of keep in mind, while you're training, while you're developing your game, is this going to be good for me? Work on that more. I recommend that you kind of roll a little bit more self-defense oriented. So try to get top position more. Focus on escaping bad positions. If you're in a street altercation, you don't want anybody to be able to hold you down. You want to be able to pop right back up so you could either give it back on top or escape. But the idea that somebody's going to hold you down and hit on you, or the friends could get you as well, that's a terrible situation. So just be able to escape bad spots. Something for self-defense that I recommend everybody is often underlooked at for self-defense. It's great for jiu-jitsu as well, so your friends that training sport jiu-jitsu should love it as well. Knee on the belly. It's similar to side control, similar to mount. Put your knee across your stomach. It gets you up off of the person. A lot of times in a street situation, these aren't necessarily normal people you're dealing with. A lot of them are not like your training partners. They're going to be addicted to drugs. They're going to be criminals. They're going to be people whose face you may not want near your face. These people might be willing to bite you, to do things like that. So just to be in a clean, in a safe situation, recommend the knee on the belly. Kind of keep their face, their mouth away from you, and with a knee on the belly, control the wrist, pin them to their chest. It's a great spot. It's great for jiu-jitsu. There's lots of stuff, arm bar, strokes from there. But if you can control a blue belt like yourself and knee on belly, pretty much anybody on the street will have no idea how to get out of that. So I really recommend develop your knee on belly as a self-defense thing. Another great thing with that And the big problem with self-defense is I have no idea. Let's say you and me get in an altercation. I have no idea if your buddy or your brother or your cousin is behind me and going to stab me in the back with a knife. There's really nothing I can do about that. Oh, I could be the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world and get stabbed. I'm now a stabbed guy. And rarely does a person get stabbed just once or shot or whatever, or even just hit on the side of the head while you're not expecting it. So knee on belly, if you're in a side control or mount, you're really focused in a downward area. Knee and belly gets you up, gets you able to look around the room, kind of keep things safe from a situational awareness perspective. So just think about that. So many great things about that position that are not really utilized. Great control. You don't have to hurt them. You sure can. You don't have to get hit. You can sure hit if you need to. You could talk to them, you could look at them, try to negotiate back to their sanity level or see what you need to do from there. You could talk to people who are around you, hey, I'm not hurting him, I'm just holding him still. It's just a great position. If you could get really good at that, I think that would help you a lot. Your takedowns, work those. As you work your takedowns, you also get better at not getting taken down. So those are both two things that are important for self-defense. Yeah, if you end up on your back in a self-defense altercation, jiu-jitsu, it would probably be fine. But really, you'd rather be on top. Really, you'd rather not be picked up and thrown. All those are important things. It's important to have that. And if your academy is mostly pulling guard or that sort of thing, I'm sure there's one or two people that'd be happy to work takedowns with you if you just ask around. They may not be that good at them either, but you'll develop each other's skill as time goes on. Try to avoid techniques that just don't work well on the street, and you could identify those probably just as a skilled person you are as a blue belt. That's probably not going to be practical. I'd probably be getting hit in the face. I probably couldn't do that on concrete. And maybe when you're trained, if you end up next to the wall, if you train with that, that's okay, because you might end up next to a couch or next to a pool table or something like that. So just using those things may not be a big deal. Now in a sport jiu-jitsu, it's not going to happen that way. So just having things in your way is kind of, I think is okay if you're thinking about self-defense a little bit. Okay, let's open up the other can of worms for self-defense. Is BJJ or Sport BJJ enough to handle yourself in a self-defense situation? I would say, okay, you're a blue belt. Right now, you're going to be hard to beat up. You might not win a fight every time. I might not win a fight, neither would anybody else. But it's going to be hard to just beat the crap out of you. You're going to be able to minimize the damage and control bare minimum. You'll probably do fine as a blue belt, I would have to say. You've been training for 11-ish months. You've got a lot of mat time on. Of course, it depends on your opponent, or the attacker, I should say, opposed to opponent. But really, you're going to be hard to just get beat up. But that being said, it's not smart. You got to use your brain. That's the more important self-defense thing that nobody's talking about. You can't just go to places where people are likely to be violent and cause trouble and end up with your friends that are likely to cause trouble. Don't go to those places. That's the best self-defense. Stay home. Go do something else. Don't go out drinking with your buddies. That is how you end up being smart with your self-defense, is avoid the situation. You cannot account for dealing with two attackers. Jiu-jitsu, the knee and belly, I think helps mitigate that. You can at least see the person coming, hopefully. But really, if it's in a crowd, you have no idea which one of these people might attack you or join in. But there's really not an effective art that I've found to deal with multiple attackers unless you're just dispatching them quickly. From there, maybe striking would discourage some, or maybe if you could knock somebody out. And I mean, we've all been there. You've rolled with somebody who could tap you out in 10 seconds. And if you're going to start choking people out quickly, I guess that's an option, but really you'll start making everybody upset and you'll have more people join in. It'll probably be a bad deal. It's just not realistic to fight more than one person. It's better to not get in a fight. Don't go these places with the people that are likely to be violent. Another thing, with weapons, yet again, jiu-jitsu is great. We train full speed, live, a lot of action, but we don't train with weapons. And even people who do train with weapons, it's hard to train that fast, that live, against somebody who is untrained. It's like dealing with that brand new white belt that's super strong. You don't know what they're going to do. They'll put a knife in that guy's hand and see what he could. His movements are unpredictable, and you're going to get cut up. Knife, gun, bat, pull cue, whatever it is, it's going to mess up your game. Yet again, it kind of goes back. Don't be getting in fights. It's just that simple. Yeah, your jiu-jitsu would help you a lot. Control the hand with the weapon. Hopefully you see the weapon. A lot of times people get stabbed, they have no idea it's even happening. They just see a lot of blood. They don't even feel it. So if you're lucky enough to see it, control it. But better yet, If they're asking for your money, give them your money. If they're asking for your car, take your keys and throw them. If they've insulted you, have a nice day. You could take an insult. There's so few reasons except for someone's going to actually attack you to be involved in a self-defense situation. That's basically it. There are so many ways to lose a fight, even if you win. So let's say you go out to the club, somebody insults you, or somebody bumps you, or somebody just fights you. I mean, you're just a normal guy and somebody attacks you. They don't like the way you look. They don't like the fact that you listen to the BjjBrick podcast maybe. You beat them up. Well, you could lose right there. You can get sued. Maybe you broke his arm. Maybe you broke his nose. That sort of thing could happen to a lot of people, not just me. A lot of ways, financially, you lose in this deal, even if you didn't even start the thing. You'd be surprised. They could somehow get a hold of your work, find out that you are in altercations. You could maybe be looking at getting fired. Depending on what you do, but generally, people don't like to employ people who go out and get in fights. So you could win the fight, come back, and not have a job in a week. So that'd be a bad deal. Maybe you get in a fight and your school doesn't like what happened. Your grappling school, like, why are you going out and getting in fights? This happened twice now. It seems like it's probably not just you or just bad luck. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's not just your situation or bad luck. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're the problem here, and you might not be able to train there because nobody wants people going out causing fights. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to train jiu-jitsu, get better. And if the situation is necessary, hopefully we can defend ourselves better. You can get arrested. You could get attacked. You could control the person. If you do some damage to them, you might be the one getting arrested. You never know. So those are a couple of ideas that you could win the fight and then lose the money, your job. You get trouble at your academy. You can get arrested, legal trouble. Lots of things could happen even if you win the fight. So I just consider that the best situation is to not get in a fight. Like I said, they want your money, here you go. You want my keys? Here they are. Or you just take them and you launch those keys and you call the police. There's so little value in fighting somebody over something like that because you're risking so much more than you would imagine. I hope I've answered your question. Two big cans of worms. I hope you stay at that school that you're at. You could help develop it into be a school that is a little bit more self-defense oriented. Your teammates are there. They have probably the similar concerns you have. It's important to be able to defend ourselves when the situation is necessary. And I hope that you feel that jiu-jitsu is enough to defend yourself, although adding a striking art and adding some takedown defense and some takedown offense, which may not be at your school, is important. But what's really often underlooked is the brain side of things. What you're going to do, how you're going to talk to people, if you can calm somebody down. Those are often underlooked in a self-defense situation, and even when to fight and when not to fight. So a lot of things going on here. Two big cans of worms. I almost feel like this is two questions. Thank you for the question. Really appreciate it. It's a tricky one. I'm looking forward to more questions. Maybe one's just as tricky as this, or maybe a little bit more simple questions that I can answer. If you have more, send them to me at bjjbrick@gmail.com. I urge you to subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this, if you learned something, and check out the BjjBrick podcast where we every week are talking about jiu-jitsu and having a good time there as well. So check that out, bjjbrick.com. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you guys next time on the BjjBrick Q&A show.